Okay, Metcalf, another day, another prospect with 30 and 30. We're doing this full speed. So today we're going to talk about Dash Daniels, brother of Dyson, the younger brother. Been generating some buzz over the years. Very young guard, playing in an NBL for Melbourne. Listed around 6'6", 200 pounds. We did a podcast talking about him, but now I want to get into the dirty stuff. I want to talk legit evaluation breakdown. So Dash Daniels is only 17 years old. He's going to be turning 18 in December. Very young, very raw, but very intriguing. What do you like about Dash Daniels? What has got your attention early on in the NBL season?
From go, it's the defense, the physical tools, and the motor. And that combination just makes him an absolute menace on the defensive end of the floor. And it's not just defense with energy, because we see guys fool people into thinking they're good defenders just because they're running around and playing hard. But Dash does that while also being technically sound, while also anticipating stuff. And he's doing it at 17 in a pro league. It's really impressive stuff, especially when you look at his screen navigation and the bend that he uses and incorporates footwork with speed, with strength and power and disruptive hands without fouling. It's been really, really impressive what he showcased on the defensive end. Is it the same for you?
Yeah, the defense will remind you of his older brother, Dyson, who is now with the Atlanta Hawks and has kind of resurrected and jump-started his career again after being, a lottery pick back with the Pelicans. I think Dash really got my attention that way on the defensive side of the ball. And it's not just because it's like, hey, well, he should be familiar because of older brother. It's more of how young he is and how he looked like he belonged in a very physical league at 17 years old. I think you watch Dash, you see why there could be a route at the NBA level of him being a rotation guard to start out that you hope to keep unlocking some of his game. But, was a name that was generating buzz over the years. Nike Hoop Summit, he only played, an hour? You got to see him for like an hour.
I got him
practice
for an hour until he got hurt. And
then he gets hurt, has a slow off season, like a slow summer. I feel like he didn't really generate a lot of buzz. It was cooling on Dash. And then now you see, the NBL, he's only played about 5 games as we're recording this. And he's not going to open any eyes with the box scores because that's just not the way these guys play, these young prospects in the NBL level. He's only playing about 16 minutes right now, had 7.2 points per game. He's not going to be a shot chucker. He's going to try to be efficient. I think it's more encouraging early on how he's looked out there. Like I said, he belonged defensively, but it also looks like he's not too frantic offensively for a young guard, which is really promising. Do you agree with that? Is that kind of what you're seeing offensively?
Yeah, he's just playing within himself and taking the opportunities that the defense presents. Like, he's not forcing shots. He's not forcing passes. Obviously, as the season goes on, we hope that we see more, but he's playing his role. And that's to be a defensive first guard, crash the glass, and don't make mistakes on offense. And so far, he's doing that. I mean, and he might be just a dead-eye shooter. He's shooting 40% from 3. It's 5 attempts. So I'm kidding. But I'm enjoying that he's playing like he belongs out there. He doesn't look like a deer in headlights. He doesn't look like you would expect a 17-year-old in a pro league to look, where it's like, oh, I'm physically outmatched, or, oh, this game is way too fast for me. It doesn't look like that at all for him. He looks comfortable. He looks composed. And if that's how it looks already, I'm really excited to see what that's going to look like for him in January and February.
We talk a lot about these NBL prospects, and I think one of the quickest things with scouts and his evaluation is we got to wait. We got to be patient. Anytime you're playing in a pro league as a teenager, you have to be patient. We got to see how they progress throughout the year. We've seen plenty of guys in the recent years, Alex Sarr, Ousmane Dieng, kind of have that, they're starting to come alive and have some confidence building now. They look like a different player from the first week. So Dash is going to require some patience. You mentioned the shot. I kind of wanted to end with that. We try to do in each of these, we're trying to do, hey, what gets you excited? What do we need to see some work on? I feel like the shot's going to be something that I hope it stays efficient, but I think we're going to kind of struggle with it about, like, what do you notice with the shot? What are you thinking about its long term? It's not pretty, but can it be respectable enough with the rest of his tools?
If it gets rebuilt, I think it's about as close to busted as possible. And when he loads up into a shot, there's a lot of wasted movement. There's a lot of side-to-side movement, like where he'll bring it up on the left side of his body and then cross it over his face and then shoot it either sometimes out in front of him, sometimes straight up. The release point is inconsistent. I think he kind of has like sneaky solid touch though, so I'm cautiously optimistic that if he gets with the right coaching staff, they're the right trainers and shot doctors, that there's something that can get built in to be at least playable. Because and he's been confident when he's stepped into them and taken the 5 attempts in the 3 games that he's played. But like when you actually slow down his attempts, they're really ugly. Like they don't even, we typically say it's like, oh man, well, when it goes in, it looks good. That's not the case for me with Dash. When it
He
goes
might
in, it
challenge
still
that.
doesn't look good. It almost always looks bad to me. But again, I still think he has decent touch. So long term, can it just get to not horrible? Because if it does, we've seen how guys like Chris Dunn have been able to carve out a role, how guys like Davion Mitchell have been able to carve out a role, despite not being consistent or elite outside shooters. And if Dash can just get to okay with that, and when the ball occasionally swings to him and he has a wide open one, can he confidently take it, occasionally knock it down, and then play awesome defense and rebound like the way he has been? I'm more encouraged than I would be with most guys if they had his shot.
I think you said it perfectly. You know, we've seen you don't have to be an elite shooter to have a chance to stick at the NBA level. It helps you a lot, but if you can do a lot of other things at a high level, be consistent. If he's going to be a great defender and understand how to set the table, and you can get that shot just to respectable.
Yeah.
Some of the best coaches in the NBA. He's also 17 years old. He's got time on his side. I think there could be a point where it's like, you understand why he's getting buzz, why some people might be intrigued with him. So any lasting thoughts on Mr. Dash Daniels?
No, I praised his ability he's been playing within himself. As the season goes on, I expect that to be the case for most of the season. But as we get later into the season, I hope we start to see him break out of those bonds a little more and start exploring his game a little more. I know he's not going to have the opportunity to just run wild and do whatever he wants. But I hope we get a little more pure point guard play so we can see, or at least try and get a sense of what the playmaking looks like at a higher level. The shot's a long-term issue, but if he can also showcase some consistent playmaking and passing reads, then it's like, oh, okay, now we have a bankable offensive skill, whereas right now I'm not seeing it.
Completely agree. I think it's been one of those starts where you're a little bit pleasantly like, okay, I'm optimistic or intrigued now. Now it's, hey, how can this develop? How can this work? I still think he could be one of the better, developmental stories from young players going to this NBL. I think there's a really good chance this is perfect for someone like Dash Daniels. So we'll wait and see. But thank you all, you draft sickos, for joining us for another episode of 30 and 30, this series on the NBA draft. One prospect every day. You listen today, tomorrow, another one. Make sure you guys check out the new YouTube channel each day, every morning. Thanks.